Hello, everyone. Shannon Gardner here. Hope you've all been well. Just doing a little video today. Just wanted to share this little pyramid. I've been studying um, a psychology course that's been really helpful in my personal life, but I'm studying it as part of my naturopathy degree that I've been studying. But I really wanted to share it with you guys because it helped me and I really liked it. I really like this little pyramid. I'm just going to pull it up here to share it on the screen for you guys. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Hope you guys can see that. So you should have a pyramid up on your screen there that you can see. Um, this is called, just want to give credit to the pyramid, the person who made it. So this is called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And just wanted to go through it with you guys. The cost, as we all know, the cost of living at the moment, all of the crazy stuff that's happening in the world right now. And actually, there's always crazy stuff happening in the world for generations and generations and generations. There's been nonstop crazy stuff that has been going on in the world. So this pyramid is really relevant probably to everyone in the world, no matter what year you're born in and what you're going through. It isn't specific to just certain situations. This is really universal to everyone. So I thought I'd share. And you could have a think about the stuff that I'm sharing here today and how it relates to your own personal situation. And hopefully it helps a little bit. It really helped me to understand my own feelings and why I've been feeling a certain way the past few years. So, yeah, thought I'd just share. Anyway, let's get to it. So, in this pyramid, you have at the bottom there, I guess I'll just use this little pointer to show you. So you have these four levels of the pyramid in this greenish color in green. And those are called your deficiency needs. So at the bottom, you have your physiological needs. That's at the bottom of the pyramid because it is considered the most essential. So physiological needs would be your bare minimum things that you need to survive, things like food, clothing, anything else that you can think of that, your basic necessities of needing to live. So the next level up is safety needs. So there is an importance in your overall well-being of feeling safe, feeling secure, free of tension, free of cruelty, free of uncertainty, and free of injustice. All of those things are under the category of safety needs. So let me give a few examples here. Like one would be your place of residence, where you live. Are you living in a safe, secure home? Are you providing a safe and secure home for your children? Or if you don't have children, are you living in a safe neighborhood? Are you able to walk outside your door and able to, go for a walk or walk to work or without feeling unsafe, that sort of thing? Are you living with people in your home that are helping to make you feel safe? Or are you living with people who don't make you feel safe? When it comes to an example of narcissism, for instance. That's another example for those of you watching, because I do have a lot of clients who are dealing with narcissism as well in their relationship. Another thing can be a wife, for example, or someone, doesn't have to be a wife, could be a man as well, who has a partner who is a narcissist, and they are constantly saying things to you to where you feel like the roof over your head could be taken from you at any point in time. That's another example of safety needs as well. When you're feeling threatened in some way, whether it's threatening to take your home away, threatening you in financially, that sort of thing. So the safety one there is a huge one. That's the second one up. It's very important, obviously. And they've put that next to physiological needs. So your basic needs like food, clothing, things like that, your basic necessities to live. The next one up, you have belongingness and love needs. Are you living in an environment where you have loving family around you? Do you have family around you or friends? Perhaps, that can be threatened perhaps if you feel isolated, or maybe you have moved to a new area or a new country where you don't have any friends or family. That can be a problem if you don't feel a sense of belonging and part of your community. Some ways that people can feel that belongingness is being part of a sports team. Some people find that belongingness by going to church if you're Christian. Everybody needs a love from people around them. Okay, neighbors, maybe you have a really nice neighbor. Maybe someone does a good deed and cares for you. That sort of thing. Let's have a look and see if I've missed anything. So being love and belonging, feeling wanted, respected, feeling accepted, feeling part of a group of some sort, and being loved. An example of this could be if, say, you were sick, say you came down with the flu and you needed some help, you needed someone to help look after you. Do you have loved ones around you that are going to look after you when you're sick? Or do you live in an environment where people are not going to look after you? Everyone needs to live somewhere where they feel a belongingness and love needs. And there are certain age groups, especially like in those teen years between the ages of 12 and adulthood, where belongingness is also very, very important during that time, where people who are starting puberty and into that teenage years, where they feel that they need that little extra love and belongingness at that point in their life. They're just trying to figure out who they are. What is this world? Things like that. So the next level up is esteem needs. So feeling good about yourself, experiencing self-worth, feeling good about yourself within yourself, knowing that you're a good person and being happy with who you are, having that confidence about yourself to be able to take on different tasks in life, depending on what stage you're at, how old you are, and that sort of thing. So those are considered the deficiency needs. Those are universal, and those are the building blocks, basically. Those four things are basically the building blocks of where you need to be at in order to basically thrive in life and to move forward. So then the higher parts of the pyramid, you have intellectual parts. So you have aesthetic needs, you have a need to know and understand. So this is when we start to feel like we want to start learning about more things. We start to explore the world. We start to question why. And we have a love of learning, or perhaps we have want to be creative and do some painting or do other forms of art, go to the theater, enjoy ourselves, really look into our interests and things that we're interested in, and that sort of thing. It's also with aesthetic needs, and you have more of a sense of wanting to take care of yourself, um, looking better when you're in public or at home, and really just taking care of yourself from an aesthetic point of view. Um, if one of these other ones below in green here, the deficient needs, perhaps maybe you live in an environment that isn't a safe environment, or you're being exposed to a great deal of emotional abuse. Perhaps the home that you're in isn't a very secure home or long term, and so there's stress there. Perhaps there isn't a lot of love from your partner, um, or you were born into a family that was also emotionally abusive, that sort of thing. There's lots of different examples, but the point is once you start to take away, when some of these bottom four deficiency needs are being threatened in a way, and you're not being looked after in those areas, then what happens is you may not feel like going out and doing your hair or caring what you look like when you go out to the shops or whatever you have to do. You start to care less. You're not worried about your appearance when your safety is at risk. You don't tend to think about how you look in those situations when you are dealing with a situation where your safety is being compromised, or if any of the below items are being threatened in some sort of way. So, yeah, I think also for the clients and the people that I have who are dealing with narcissistic partners, you can relate to these four bottom deficiency needs. Those four are often really affected. And so we start to not necessarily look after yourself and your health as much, or your aesthetic needs and things like that, or you don't really have time to maybe pursue hobbies and a lot of the things that you want to do in life in this need to know and understand area here. So, or that you don't have time to learn new skills and this and that. Perhaps you're studying and you're not able to study as much as you can and focus on studying because, one of these four deficiency needs has been threatened, or perhaps all four of them have been threatened in some way. And so you can see how the areas in the top part of the pyramid can be really affected by the bottom parts. And we're not really thriving and having this sense of thriving because of the lower parts, the deficiency needs being affected. So moving on to the next couple, we have self-actualization and transcendence. So this is where you go beyond these intellectual areas and you go on um, to really knowing yourself, really like just stepping into yourself in the self actualization. And then transcendence is just getting to that point where you've really fulfilled everything that you've wanted to fulfill in your life and you're happy with everything that you've achieved in your life and you've gotten to that point of feeling that way. So yeah, I'm just gonna see if I have missed anything. So for aesthetic, there is the need for order, there is the need for beauty and symmetry. So you start to care more about those things when the items underneath, the needs underneath are met. Self transcendence is when you're developing beyond your own ego. So that's really the part of yourself when you have a bit of a death of the ego. You don't, you can see this in people. You can tell by listening to someone if they've had that part of themselves, that death of the ego, or are they still speaking to people in really, it's more like of a super ego point of view. Your super ego is on one end, your ID and your ego in the middle. And so are you coming from a place of ego still? Or have you gotten past that? I feel like there's a point where you get past that and you don't really, I don't know how to explain it. You become more humble. You become more like content within yourself, less people pleasing, less having to have a point to prove, that sort of thing. I don't know how to explain it. You just do. You kind of know when you get to that point. So, yeah, then you have self actualization as well. That's in there. So, yeah, so that is achieved when one experiences when you have a feeling of complete self fulfillment in that higher pyramid area there, as I was saying before. So this is highly individual, and many people never actually reach that higher point, those higher order needs of the top two levels of the pyramid. A lot of people don't actually hit those two in their life. A lot of people die, unfortunately, which is really sad before they get to that point. I think when you come to a point of that self-actualization, and then you would be at a point where you would probably be okay with dying because you get to a point where you look back at your life and you have a feeling, a sense of achievement and fulfillment of what you've learned in your life or the things that you've experienced in your life. Or you get to a point in that self-actualization where, yeah, you're just really content with yourself. And those are really the final stages. So some examples of the top pyramid would be things like doing things that you enjoy, I'd say, in that intellectual part. Really getting to a place where you can just be happy, enjoy your life, be content uh, with what you're doing, what you're achieving, and you can do that because your deficiency needs are being met. So, yeah. I hope that's helpful for people. I think that sometimes we don't understand what's happening to ourselves um, in our situation when one of those four bottom deficiency needs are being threatened in our life. And so when I had to look at this pyramid, it was just really helpful for myself to understand those things and, oh, okay, this is why I'm feeling a certain way, or this is why I feel like I'm in the fight or flight mode, is because of a couple of these things in my life in the bottom part that have been threatened. So I hope this has helped anyone who has one of those four bottom deficiency needs that are being threatened at the moment, or even if you don't, just to have a better understanding of um, what is needed there to kind of, you know, be able to stand on your own 2 feet, be able to thrive in life, that sort of thing, and the importance of those four basic needs of deficiency needs there. I hope you stay tuned to my next video. My next video, I'm going to be doing a little video on the fight or flight. And it really is related to this, the pyramid here, because, um, as any of the deficiency needs are not met, that can have a huge effect on our fight or flight mode and how we're feeling in our response to stress and that sort of thing. So anyway, I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you on my next video.